Welcome to a quick sharp review of the Fire Force Omnibus. I've got the first Omnibus here. I'm going to be talking a bit about the structure of the physical release, a bit about the story, and what music I would recommend listening to if you're going to read it. So this contains the first 3 volumes of the Fire Force Manga. We've got a nice cover here, which is just basically the cover of the first volume, with a little bit of a difference. It says hero or devil sort of under here. I like the styling that they've got there. This is the spine, which I'll talk about in depth in a second, and then the back. So this is showing the images that are on the other 2 volumes that are in here. So it's a release by Kodansha, which I don't know how to feel about this release. I like omnibuses. I like 3-in-1s. It's a cost-effective way of getting a lot of manga. This is not the best way to do it, mainly because of this spine, right? If you look there, you can see there's not really much give in terms of when we're opening the book, how much that spine is bending, even just from like light opening, right? If I was to do it as little as I can, this much, amazing panel, by the way. If I was to do it sort of this much only, it's still significant bending. I mean, this is what I've done after reading it once. There's not much damage or anything there, but if you read it a few times, I reckon you're going to start seeing creases there unless you're super, super careful. There's not even a crease here on the edge that you can sort of artificially make yourself to protect that spine. So a bit of an oversight, I think, in the pursuit of making it cheaper for people. And then, you can even see here, right? Like, it looks like the binding is not quite all there, and I'm kind of worried that this is all going to fall apart at some point for me. Look at that. I don't know. Anyway, so I've never read this manga before. It's my first time reading it. I should quickly say it is a little bit bigger than a standard manga volume, so a bit higher and a bit larger pages width-wise as well. The page quality, I think, is pretty good. It's pretty thick. You can see what the bleed through would be like a little bit there. Compare that to just the standard volume of Sakamoto Days that I've got here. I think there's more bleed through that, you can see. But then when you sort of compare them here, it almost looks like they have, or at least maybe they've just shoved everything in here. So maybe it looks like maybe like 2.5 of these. So maybe the paper is thinner, but it feels thick. This is a story about like firefighter superheroes, sort of. There's like people who spontaneously combust, and then the firefighter soldiers have to come and put them out. And it's a pretty fast-moving series. They don't really muck around. There's a lot of fast-paced sort of stuff, and I like that there's a bit of mystery where they're sort of speeding it up. In most anime and manga, you start to think that maybe some of the good guys are actually bad guys, and I like that this series doesn't really treat its audience like it's dumb in that regard. It says from the get-go, basically, there's a very good chance that the good guys are actually the bad guys, particularly because there's a lot of religious imagery in this, and the whole organization is this Christianity symbolism and stuff like that. They all work out of a church. And so if you've read any anime or manga or played any Japanese video games, the church is always the bad guys, which is fair enough. One thing I don't like in this story is the fan service. It just seems a bit out of place. There's one character who has some ability. It's not even part of her power or anything. It's just a fact of her character that everybody, when people are around her, they just accidentally fall into her and grope her, and pervy stuff happens around her, and she's just like, oh no, whoopsies, that's just who I am. not ideal. It's not really, it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the story. It just happens every now and then. It doesn't even fit in with her character and what her powers are. But yeah, I like the main characters in this mostly. I like that not all of them have powers. I think that makes for sort of interesting things. And I do like how some of the characters in this, because the costumes are fairly similar, like in like My Hero Academia, but then they're slightly different depending on what the character's power is. So the main character Shinra has like no has like cut off pants here because his power is like that his feet go on fire, and so his pants would always be getting scorched, or his shoes and socks would always be getting up in flames. So he's always barefoot in these sort of 3/4 pants. There's a character whose fire comes out of like her hips, so she has like those sides missing, and it's probably fan service reasons why that is as well. In terms of what I would recommend listening to this, I mean, the Fire Force anime soundtrack is excellent. That's how I sort of got interested in this manga, by listening to that soundtrack and going, geez, this is actually a really good example of a nice epic shonen soundtrack. And there's lots of good lights and darks in the soundtrack, like in this series, fairly similar to like the My Hero Academia soundtrack as well. But, you know, I've added a lot of those to my playlist that I've been making, which is a general sort of soundtrack for modern setting shonen mangas, which I'll also put in the description. Have you read Fire Force? What do you reckon? What do you reckon about this release? I don't know if I can justify the price difference because of this this thing, and it's not even that much cheaper. I think I bought this for like 25 Australian dollars, but that was down like from sale of 35 Australian dollars, which isn't that cheap for, you know, a 3-in-1 omnibus, which isn't the most amazing and robust quality. Anyway, tell me what you think. Bye.